Hello everyone, this is Ohio Dan again. Before I move on with specific topics that I want to cover on my channel, I wanted to go ahead and basically describe, just in an overall sense, what my channel policies are going to be. I know that I have a very small channel, and I thank all the people, and I'm appreciative of all the people who've subscribed so far. But regardless of whether my channel continues to grow or not, into the future, there are certain, I guess, rules or parameters that I want to set out now so that there's no question later about the kinds of things that are allowed or aren't allowed. And again, this isn't some huge uh, policy overview. It's just some very basic stuff about what you're allowed to say and not allowed to say in terms of the kind of comments and discussions that I want to see on my channel. You can basically, this is what I'm setting forth. You can disagree with me as much as you want on a particular issue. You can tell me that my views are stupid. You know, I really have a high tolerance for not taking things personally as long as you're not making a personal attack. And I see YouTube content creators having a wide variety, even just MGTOW content producers or people on conservative political channels. They have a high tolerance for nonsense. They have a high tolerance for trolls in some cases, or they'll get in there and start having kind of a flame war and start arguing back and forth in an emotional way. And quite frankly, I'm too old for that shit. I'm not going to sit here and try to make cogent arguments. I'm not going to sit here and put in the effort to making a video and then just have people call me names or just not look. The key is this: if you're not talking about the actual issues, if you're not talking about the actual video topics, that if you're not covering the material in some way, then and you're saying something negative and you're being vulgar in that sense. Not that vulgarity is particularly offensive to me, but if you're just derailing any sort of productive conversation about that topic, about whatever the video is based on, then I am going to delete you. I'm going to delete your comment, I should say, and I'm going to block you. And you will never use that account to comment on any of my videos again. Now, I'm not saying that I'll read every single comment, that is ever made. At this point, my channel is really small, and so I don't have a problem reading through all the comments. But if it gets to a point where I am more successful and my channel continues to grow, which I hope that it will, I may not read every comment, but if I see someone derailing the conversation, if I see someone, insulting me or insulting someone else without making any sort of intelligent argument, just for the sake of being a troll, I'm not going to sit here and explain it. I'm not going to, aside from this video being the explanation, I'm not going to sit here and argue back. I'm not going to try to reason with people who act this way. I am simply going to delete the comment and most likely block that person. There may be a warning if, I think that someone is not necessarily being a troll, but is just expressing things in a way that isn't productive or that's, insulting for, no good reason. Even, if you're actually trying to stay on topic, or if that person has made, sensible arguments or made sensible comments in the past, up to that point, they may get a warning. But, honestly, it's going to depend on what kind of mood I'm in and how I perceive it. And in most cases, if you say something that's just idiotic or you insult me, without making an actual argument, without saying something that represents, or that reflects upon the topic of the video, I'm not going to sit here like many other YouTube creators do that I've seen and just let people, say whatever they want on the basis of free speech. Free speech is great, but that doesn't give someone the right to come on my channel and or anybody's channel as far as I'm concerned and just, you know, post a bunch of nonsense and not really use their uh, free speech to actually say anything, but instead to just be a troll. So that's really all I have, as far as the guidelines that I want to lay out. I'm not going to really, restrict anything else. People can say whatever they want about the issue that I'm discussing. They can totally agree with me. They can totally disagree with me. Even if you post something that doesn't make sense or that, isn't supposed to make sense, I don't really care. But if it gets to a point where you're insulting either myself or someone else, most likely myself, if it gets to a point where someone is basically just being a troll or, is making really emotional arguments, even if that person doesn't think that he or she is a troll, if someone is just making statements on the basis of shaming, on the basis of, you know, uh, being angry, and not actually looking at the topic at hand and just calling me names or whatever the case may be along those lines, that person is going to get blocked. The comment will be deleted, and that will be the end of it. Um, you know, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. You may get one warning, and I'm not talking about the vast majority of people that have subscribed and that watch my content. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to give a lecture to anyone who's probably watching this video, but if someone comes on later and says, Ohio Dan blocked my comment, or Ohio Dan doesn't believe in free speech, you can refer back to this particular video because this is the warning. This is the kind of official, unofficial, whatever you want to call it, setting out of the rules. This is the video where I'm telling everyone that you can say whatever you want. You can disagree with me strongly. You can disagree with my arguments to a point where you're insulting my arguments if what you're saying is actually productive, if you're not actually going after me in your comments or someone else who is posting, especially someone else who actually watches my content and actually um, basically analyzes it with an intelligent mind. you know if you're insulting me or you're insulting someone else who isn't doing anything wrong, you know, I may or may not give you a warning and you will be removed from my channel. And I guess if you start another account, because I've seen this done before, and you try to troll me with that account, then I'll delete you. I'll delete the new account. I mean, it's not really a big deal. And like I say, at this point, my channel's not that big at all. It's still really small. I'm still growing, and so it's not a big deal for me to find comments and delete them and block people. It's pretty easy to do. So this is the official warning. Uh, Again, this isn't really meant for people who actually like my videos and have actually subscribed. But, I'm not going to sit here and debate ad hominem arguments. I'm not going to sit here and let you pollute my comment section with insults or shaming. And I'm not going to consider free speech to be some sort of justification for shit posting. It's just not going to happen. And as much as I see it, it'll be deleted, and that those commenters will be blocked, and that'll be the end of it. Again, if you're someone who I know has commented before and made productive conversation before, you might get a warning, but all in all, I'm just not going to put up with it. That's not what my YouTube channel is going to be about, whether I continue to grow or not. And I'm not going to waste my time on nonsense. I'm not going to waste my time on trolls.